The Tour Championship is here. Welcome, everyone, to Tea Time. I am your host, Andy Lang. Nick picked an incredible week to go on vacation, the final golf week of the year, and Nick is gone. Dan's shaking his head, too. It's like, really, you can't plan that a little better. No, shout out to Nick and his beautiful family. I'm sure they're having a blast. So we're going to break down total strokes gained, the course preview, 18th hole ranking, and players that can trip you up, as well as DraftKings Darlings. So let's get started. Hit the like button if you really could. We've had a great season here on Tea Time, and much appreciated to you guys. Thank you so much for joining us every week. So let's hit the like button and let's get into it. Let's talk total strokes gained here. I pulled this from Data Golf. This is really just going to be from the last 30 days. I just really want to see who's playing well like now. And it's kind of interesting when you look at this, because you look at the last 3 months, and Cameron Young ain't on that list, not that high. Justin Rose, not on that list, not that high. So let's break this down. Obviously, Scheffler is going to be your one-away number one. So I guess the question is anybody on here? Can anybody contend? What's the secret sauce here? Well, I think the secret sauce is you got to have a hot putter. So if I'm looking at this list, who am I looking at that can really, really putt well? And one guy that jumps out is Harry Hall, plus 1.72 strokes gained putting. His approach is nowhere near Scheffler, and that's going to hold him back. But if I'm making the case for an underdog to come from behind, maybe it's Harry Hall. Maybe it's Russell Henley, who could do a little bit of everything. That's good. But if I'm looking at upside, I'm looking at putting. Harris English really jumps off the page to me. Ben Griffin is putting the ball really well. Hopefully he doesn't overdose on creatine like he did in the final round. That's a real thing that happened. He drank too much creatine, shot +6, finally calmed down, and got back on the winning track. Listen, Scheffler's plus 150 to win this tournament. It makes sense. Tommy Fleetwood, can you really take Tommy Fleetwood to win this? No. Maybe it is someone like Cameron Young, who's hot right at the very second. I don't trust McIlroy. I don't trust Abear. I guess the most random guy on here could be J.J. Spawn. J.J. Spawn has the pedigree this year. Multiple wins. He's won on the big stage before. This would not surprise me in the slightest if someone like him, who has shown upside at some of the strangest times, comes alive and gets the win. So Scheffler's the runaway favorite. But if I'm looking at that list, and I'm looking at who can come out of nowhere and win, it's a guy like Harry Hall, whose putter can get red hot. It's J.J. Spawn, who can put it all together. Maybe Harris English, maybe Ben Griffin, if you're looking for guys outside of the big names. But I think the winner is going to come from this list. I'm ruling out some of the bigger name guys that are way below this list. I can't trust them. So that's your total strokes gained. Let's take a look at the East Lake Golf Club. You guys know this one if you're watching this show. Par 70, 7,500 yards. I think the big thing to note is there's a lot of runoff areas. They made it a point to get these fairways really, really fast. And with as hot as it's been in Atlanta, they're fast. So what this means is you got to control your drive, not necessarily where it lands, but where it's going to roll. Otherwise, it can roll into the rough, and the rough can be problematic at times. They've done a good job kind of reworking this course. It's super fast. The greens are going to be really, really fast. So you're going to have to hit fairways, control where the ball stops when it's rolling, then hit your greens, try and control it. So I think there's going to be some aggressive guys, and I think the score is going to be between -15 and -20. We've seen guys go really low on some of these courses, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if this just becomes a track meet, especially because they're all starting at the exact same score. You're going to have to take chances. You're going to have to beat Scheffler. So expect some guys to just, throw caution to the wind and go pin hunting, even if you're coming out of the rough. So I love this course. I think it's weird we finished the season in Atlanta, but whatever. It's kind of an odd course to finish, but every year I find myself really enjoying this course, and I do glad they finish here. Let's rank the 18th hole. I love this finishing hole. I give it a 7.1. It's kind of becoming one of the more iconic finishing holes. It's the last hole of the course. It's the last hole of the tournament, last hole of the season. 585 yards, par 5. A wayward tee shot can really set you up for disaster here. The fairway goes downhill, and if the ball rolls too far downhill, it can end up at the bottom of the hill in the rough. So it's almost like you want to hit it long, but not too long. You want to hit it straight, but not get it to roll down the hill. if you hit it left or right into the rough, now you're bringing a big number into play because there's bunkers to the back left, front right, and we've seen guys chunk it out of this rough into the water that's right in front of them. So this second shot is all dependent on the lie, and if you hit it in the rough off the tee, you're going to have to lay up. It's too dangerous to go for this green, so it can cause a lot of drama. You can have eagle putts, you can have double bogey putts. We've seen it all. So if this tournament's really close going into Sunday, this is a really great finishing hole. So, and I mean, the iconic walk, I mean, how can you not remember Tiger Woods walking down this hole with the gallery following? So there's been some very, very cool moments here on this 18th hole. Give it a 7.1. All right, we gave you some names of some players that I think could challenge Scottie Scheffler. You don't need to tune into the show to tell me, or for me to tell you I think Scottie Scheffler is going to play well. Let's talk about some names of some players that I think can trip you up this week. So let's go to players that can trip you up. I'm going to start with Rory McIlroy, getting priced as a top 3 player this week. Recent results don't quite support that number. He's been steady here with finishes of 12th and 11th, but that's not the upside I need on someone that you would expect to try and challenge Scheffler. Last week, he managed 12th in a short field, failing to really threaten Scheffler at the top. Statistically, he's 7th in total strokes gained over the last 3 months. It's not bad. That's just not going to get it done. And a guy that is going to have to take chances to beat Scheffler. We've seen his putting fail him at the most inopportune time. So Rory McIlroy, not going to be playing him in DFS. I'm not going to be betting on him. I'm also going to fade Justin Thomas. He's tough this week. Incredible track record at this event. Never finished outside the top 9, but current form, completely different story. Coming off finishes of 33rd and 28th, and he has just one top 10 in his last 7 starts. So statistically, he sits 24th in this field in total strokes gained over the last 30 days. Solid, but far from elite. Poor momentum, inflated price tag. The risk totally outweighs the course history. It's fade or nothing with Thomas. I can't bet on him. And we talk about him every week, but Colin Morikawa, the books just keep pricing him way too high. Risky play, even though he's defending champ. Stumbled into this event, 2 straight missed cuts, 22nd and 33rd place finishes in his last 4 starts. It's terrible. We talked about firing caddies. It's like he can have one good round, but to put together 4, no effing way is Colin Morikawa going to put together 4 good rounds. No way. Second worst in this entire field in total strokes gained over the last 30 days. Second worst. Shocking stat for Colin Morikawa. So very, very poor form. There's a lot of questions going into the Ryder Cup, what to do with him. I'm assuming he's going to be on the team. Not really sure what the replacement is, but betting on him this week, no chance. I'll be happy to fade him in a head-to-head matchups. We're running a special here at Wager Talk, Flex Picks. We're always talking about these Flex Picks. So why not run a 7-day special, only $69, and it gets you any handicapper that you want. You can take him one day, and then you can take him the next day, or you can take somebody else. So if you want to get Flex Picks, we're running 7 days for $69. Today is the last day to take advantage of that. Next special that we have up is buy 1 month, get the rest of this month free. So if you want to lock in the rest of this month, you can get the next month as well. That's going to include NFL preseason, college football regular season, golf, MMA. We have cricket play that is up. You name it, you can get it. So if you want to lock in plays with me, we are going to have a jam-packed season for the rest of 2025, and it gets started right now. So coming off a really nice 2-0 week. Both bets were on Live Tour in golf. So disappointed to see Live Tour go away. That's been a good source of income. But you can get Flex Picks, and you can get buy 1 month and get the rest of the month free. Let's take a look at DraftKings Darlings. Again, finished 49th out of 200 last week in a 50-50, so the dream season continues. So in a field of 30 guys, kind of hard to find some of these dark horses, but we're going to dig deep, and we're going to start off with Jacob Bridgman at 6,100. Listen, he finished 19th and 17th the last 2 weeks. That's better than Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Hideki Matsuyama, and Captain Keegan Bradley. If he can do something even remotely similar to this, he's underpriced at 6,100. We'll move to Brian Harman. He finished 19th and 22nd the last 2 weeks. Again, you're not going to win a championship, but good for a player at 6,400. Not great history here. He's got success in big tournaments. The moment's not going to be too big for him, so we'll just roll the dice. He performs or outperforms the price here. And we have to put Harry Hall in here. Criminally underpriced. Again, 6,400 on this guy. Finished 19th and 22nd the last 2 weeks. Or I'm sorry, 6th place finish last week, and we mentioned him. This is the type of player who can get a hot putter going. Fifth best total strokes gained and number one in putting the last 3 months. So this isn't just last week. This guy's been doing this for the last 3 months. So he's underpriced every single week, and it would feel bad if I didn't have a Harry Hall in my DFS lineup in the very last tournament of the year. So Harry Hall, best hat game in all of golf, is going to round out the lineup. And I'll just give you guys my final DFS lineup. But if you want to read all the write-ups, that free article is on my Wager Talk page, wt.buzz/AL. That's where you can get the $5 Tuesday play. If you're watching this on Tuesday, it's where you can get flex picks. It's where you can get that by month, get the rest of the month free. Final lineup to close out the season is going to be Jacob Bridgman, Brian Harman, Harry Hall, Cameron Young, Sam Burns, and Scottie Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler is it's the highest priced guy in DFS, and every time I have him in my lineup, I cash. It's like you just have to figure out how to work your DraftKings Darlings so you can afford to have Scottie Scheffler in your lineup. I know he's the most expensive guy. Every single time I cash, Scottie Scheffler has been in my lineup. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for Tee Time for the Tour Championship. Thank you so much. It's been an incredible season. Don't worry, we will have golf picks for the rest of the year. Ryder Cup is coming up. We'll see if we can do a Ryder Cup preview. And if we have any other tournaments that we think noteworthy, there will be content here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. That's why you should hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell, make sure you get notified when all of these videos have been released. So leave a comment in the comments section. Tell us who you like. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Scottie Schefflers in the comments section, but let me know if you think anybody can beat Scheffler this week. If I had to pick a dark horse, it's going to be JJ Spawn or Harry Hall. I'll go with JJ Spawn. We'll see if he can pull the big upset, but it's Scottie or nothing so far in the betting markets. It's plus 150 to win the Tour Championship. So thanks very much for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. Good luck on your plays. We'll see everyone later. Take care.